No one cares about you, and that's the secret to winning. Have you ever wondered why, even when surrounded by people, it sometimes feels like no one truly understands you? Why the support you expected doesn't come with the intensity you imagined? And more importantly, why success often seems like a road you have to walk alone? Think about it. People applaud your victories, but who was really there during your toughest days? When the nights felt endless, and the silence was only broken by your doubts? It's in those moments that you realize a harsh but liberating truth. The world doesn't care as much as you think it does. And you know what? That might just be life's greatest gift to you. The question is, how do you turn that solitude into strength? How do you use what feels like abandonment to build something greater? This is where Stoic principles show us the way. Imagine a mental state where external opinions don't sway you, where outside validation is replaced by unwavering self-confidence. Today, I invite you to see isolation differently, not as a burden, but as an opportunity. A space where you discover who you truly are, away from distractions, away from expectations, because it's in that silence that transformation happens. So, stay with me. Let's explore together how solitude can be the key to your success, not as a barrier, but as a portal to something only you can achieve. Are you ready to change the way you see the world, and more importantly, the way you see yourself? Have you ever stopped to think about the power of words? A simple "you can do it" or a compliment filled with admiration can feel like fuel to keep going. But is all support sincere? Do these compliments really push you forward, or do they create an illusion of comfort that slowly weakens your discipline? Often, what looks like support is nothing more than a shadow disguised as interest. It's as if some people cheer for you until they realize your success puts them in an uncomfortable position. Deep down, behind smiles and applause, there may be the silent envy of those who would rather see you stand still. And that's not their fault. It's human nature at play, and compliments, oh, those can be treacherous. They're like a soft bed in the middle of a long journey, too comfortable. If you lie down for too long, you forget there's still a path to walk. And then, the discipline that got you here begins to falter, because after all, why work so hard if everyone's already telling you you're amazing? But here's the truth. Compliments only carry the weight you choose to give them. And real support, the kind that truly matters, comes silently, in the form of actions, not words. Many people cheer you on with their words, but very few genuinely understand or support you. That's why you can't lean on those words. You can't depend on them. Don't be fooled into thinking you need others' approval to move forward. What you truly need is an unshakable connection to your goals. A discipline that isn't swayed by easy compliments or biting criticism. The path to success isn't paved with applause. It's made of firm steps, driven by a purpose only you understand. So, accept the compliments, but don't cling to them. Appreciate the support, but know the real strength lies within you. Because in the end, what defines your success isn't what others say. It's what you do when no one is watching. 3. The role of anger, pain, and discipline. Anger and pain. For many, these words might seem negative, something to avoid, control, or hide. But what if, instead, you learned to use them as tools? What if these intense emotions were exactly what you needed to take the next step in your journey? Anger can be a powerful fuel. Not the kind of anger that makes you lose your head, but the kind that arises when you look at life and realize you want more, that you deserve more. It's the anger that comes when you refuse to accept a mediocre reality, when you decide that no one else will determine your destiny. When directed wisely, this emotion can be the spark that ignites the fire of change. And pain teaches. It's in discomfort that you learn how much you can endure and how much further you can grow. Pain is a reminder that you're alive, that you're moving. Every stumble, every emotional scar is a lesson. When viewed with the right mindset, Pain isn't an obstacle, but a silent mentor, shaping you into something greater. But anger and pain alone build nothing. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the foundation, the force that keeps you standing even on the hardest days. Discipline doesn't feed on emotion, but on purpose. It's what gets you out of bed even when the world seems against you. It's what transforms potential into reality. Together, anger, pain, and discipline form an unbeatable trio. Anger gives you the reason, pain gives you the strength, and discipline gives you the direction. They're what turn dreams into achievements, what propel you from stagnation to creating the life you want. So ask yourself, how have I been using these tools? Am I letting anger paralyze me, or is it motivating me? Am I letting pain defeat me, or is it teaching me? Am I staying true to discipline, even when everything feels like it's falling apart? In the end, success isn't given. It's built, brick by brick, day by day. And these three forces, when well channeled, will take you from where you are to where you've always dreamed of being. Use them. Grow. Overcome. Because no one will do it for you. 4. The fragility of ego and emotional neediness. Have you ever wondered how many decisions in your life have been guided by the desire to be noticed, praised, or accepted? It's easy to fall into the trap of an inflated ego and emotional neediness. The problem is that these two elements, though seemingly harmless, can be the greatest saboteurs of your journey. The ego is treacherous. It convinces you that you already know everything, that you've achieved enough, or that you deserve more than you're willing to offer. It blinds you to your mistakes and prevents you from seeing how much you still need to grow. An inflated ego is like a balloon. It looks big and impressive on the outside, but inside, it's empty. And all it takes is one small puncture, a critique, a failure, for everything to collapse. Emotional neediness is another challenge. When you constantly seek approval, you make yourself vulnerable. It's as if you hand over the control of your happiness to others, waiting for them to validate your choices, praise your steps, or offer unconditional support. But what happens when that doesn't come? Or worse, when it comes loaded with ulterior motives? Together, ego and neediness form a dangerous combination. They make you depend on external factors, on others' opinions and reactions, and take the focus away from what truly matters. Your goals. You become more concerned with impressing others than with building something solid and true for yourself. But here's the key point. You don't need this. You don't need compliments to know your worth. You don't need approval to move forward. And above all, you can't let your ego keep you from the humility to learn and grow. Controlling these emotions is a daily exercise. It's understanding that your value doesn't lie in what others think, but in what you do. It's having the security to know that even without applause, you are capable. It's accepting that failures and critiques don't diminish who you are. They merely show where you can improve. So ask yourself, am I living to please others or to achieve my own goals? Am I open to criticism or am I hiding behind my ego? Am I focused on my path or am I waiting for others to guide me? The more you strengthen your mind against ego and neediness, the more unshakable you become, because in the end, true success comes from within. It doesn't need applause or external validation. It only needs you committed to your purpose, regardless of what others think. 5. Autonomy and self-knowledge. How many times have you ignored your own intuition to follow what others said was best for you? How many decisions in your life have been shaped by others' opinions instead of your own reasoning? If this feels familiar, maybe it's time to take back control of your path. Autonomy begins when you stop relying on compliments to feel capable and on criticism to feel challenged. It's about hearing your own voice amidst the noise of the world. When you connect with what you truly believe, with what makes sense to you, something powerful happens. You stop being a reflection of others' expectations and become the author of your story. But this journey requires self-knowledge. You need to look within and ask yourself, who am I really? What do I want to build? What values guide my decisions? These are difficult but essential questions because without these answers, you'll remain adrift, changing direction every time someone tells you the wind is blowing another way. Autonomy doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world or ignoring advice. It means having the discernment to filter what truly adds value. It means trusting your reasoning and using it as a foundation for every choice. And this includes not being so affected by criticism. Often it says more about the critic than about you. It also includes not getting too comfortable with praise, which can be more of a trap than real encouragement. Being autonomous is understanding that your life is unique, your decisions are unique, and no one but you can chart the best course. But to do this, you need the courage to deeply know yourself, to accept your flaws, value your strengths, and above all, believe in your ability to grow. So, stop and reflect. Are you in control of your life, or are you letting others decide for you? Are you listening to your own logic, or are external voices drowning out your thoughts? Remember, the world is full of opinions, but none of them define who you are. What truly matters is the strength of your mind, the clarity of your values, and the confidence in your reasoning. When you know and trust yourself, no one can take that away from you. Because in the end, autonomy isn't just a choice, it's an achievement. And self-knowledge is the path to reach it. 6. Superficial relationships in modern society. Have you ever felt that amidst so many conversations, likes, and messages, true connection seems to be fading away? We live in a world where relationships often feel like transactions. Who can offer me something? Who can help me? Who makes me feel good momentarily? And in the midst of all this, what was once deep has turned shallow. The truth is that many of these relationships are nothing more than comforting illusions. They are there as long as it's convenient, as long as you fit into someone's interests. But when the winds shift, when you need something real or choose a path that makes others uncomfortable, the masks fall off. And suddenly, you realize you were surrounded by empty presences. This isn't an invitation to pessimism, but to clarity. The problem isn't in connecting with others, but in placing too much expectation on the wrong people. When you build your life expecting others to fill emotional gaps or provide unconditional support, disappointment becomes inevitable. What should you do then? First, understand that real relationships are rare, and that's okay. You don't need hundreds of friends or admirers. You need a few, but true connections. To recognize them, it's essential to distinguish what's genuine from what's fleeting interest. Second, remember that no one is responsible for your purpose but you. Relationships should be like bonuses. They can bring joy, learning, and support, but they cannot be the foundation of your path. Once you understand this, you become less vulnerable to superficiality and more focused on what truly matters. Ask yourself, how many of your interactions are truly meaningful? How many people around you genuinely know you, not just the version you present? The modern world is full of distractions, many of which come in the form of connections that seem real, but aren't. Don't let them derail you from your purpose. Prioritize quality over quantity. And above all, keep your mind strong. Your progress depends on no one but yourself. Because in the end, it's not superficial relationships that will define your life, but the depth of your commitment to who you want to become. 7. The role of criticism and support. How many times have you felt on top of the world because of a compliment, or conversely, seen your confidence plummet after a critique? It's natural to react this way, but here's the truth. Criticism and support, most of the time, are just words. And in the grand scheme of things, words build nothing. Your actions do. Criticism often says more about the person giving it than about you. Some critiques come from genuine places as attempts to help. But others, many are born from envy, superficial judgment, or a need to tear others down to feel better. If you listen to all of them, you'll get lost in a maze of expectations that were never yours. Support, on the other hand, can also be deceptive. Constant praise can inflate your ego to the point where you forget there's still work to be done. Or worse, it can make you seek external approval as fuel instead of finding your strength within. But here's the thing, both criticism and support carry weight only if you allow them to. If you cling too tightly to others' opinions, you make your journey dependent on external validation. And true success can't be built that way. What truly matters is what you do when no one is watching. It's consistency, discipline, and commitment to your own goals. It's understanding that critiques can be heard but not absorbed, and that compliments can be appreciated but not idolized. Ask yourself, am I basing my actions on what others say or on what I believe to be right? Am I letting words, good or bad, define who I am? If the answer is yes, it's time to change. Your progress shouldn't depend on what others think, but on what you do every day to build the life you want. So next time someone criticizes or praises you, just smile and keep going, because in the end, neither applause nor boos will shape your future. That's something only you can do, and it's exactly how it should be. 8. Focusing on personal protagonism. Have you ever realized that your life is like a movie and you're the main character? It seems obvious, but think, how many times have you acted as if you were just a supporting role, waiting for others to decide for you, for something external to change your story? The truth is harsh, but liberating. No one will chart your path for you. No one will take responsibility for your dreams, your goals, your failures, or your victories. That is the weight and privilege of being the protagonist of your own life. Protagonism means taking control. It's stopping the blame game, blaming the world, circumstances, or people around you for things that didn't work out. It's looking inward, acknowledging your own mistakes, but also recognizing the power you have to change what you don't like. To do that, you need focus. A focus that ignores external distractions, the opinions, critiques, compliments, and even comparisons that insist on crossing your path. Because in the end, none of these things matter as much as what you're building, day by day. Investing in your own development is the greatest act of protagonism you can practice. It's understanding that every step, no matter how small it seems, is shaping your destiny. That every choice, every action is a tool to sculpt the life you want to have. But being a protagonist isn't easy. It takes courage to make tough decisions, patience to deal with the results, and above all, resilience to keep going, even when everything seems to be against you. You need to believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Ask yourself, am I truly in control of my story, or am I letting others or circumstances dictate my plot? Am I spending more energy trying to please others than building what truly matters to me? The life you want won't appear like magic. It needs to be created, and the only person who can do that is you. Take the lead. Stop waiting for someone to save you, for the conditions to be perfect, or for the right moment to arrive. The right moment is now, and you are the hero of your story. Remember, on the stage of life, you don't need an audience. What matters is how you feel at the end of each act, knowing you're living true to your essence and shaping the destiny you've always wanted. The world can watch, but it's you who directs the show. 9. The reality of a solitary journey. Why does solitude scare us so much? Perhaps because it forces us to look inward, to confront our thoughts, doubts, and weaknesses. But what if, instead of fearing it, you learned to embrace it? What if walking a solitary path was actually the key to a more meaningful and authentic life? Yes, going it alone can feel sad at first, We're used to seeking company, validation, and support at every step. But there's something powerful about letting go of those expectations. When you walk alone, you realize that the only voice that truly matters is your own. And in that silence, you find clarity. Solitude offers a focus no crowd can provide. Without distractions, you begin to see your goals more clearly. Your priorities are no longer influenced by others' opinions, and you start making decisions based on what truly matters to you. That doesn't mean the journey will be easy. On the contrary, walking this path requires mental and emotional strength. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you miss a friendly shoulder. But over time, you'll realize that solitude isn't emptiness. It's space to grow, to understand yourself, and to become stronger. And here's the irony. The more comfortable you become walking alone, the more authentic the connections you create with others become. When you're content with your own company, you attract people who respect your essence rather than those who simply fill the void. Ask yourself, am I willing to embrace a solitary journey in pursuit of something greater? Or am I holding on to people and relationships that don't add value out of fear of being alone? Remember, walking alone doesn't mean being lost. On the contrary, it's the best way to find a path that's truly yours. And while solitude may feel challenging at first, it will lead you to a destination where you finally feel at home with yourself. Because in the end, the most meaningful journey isn't made with the approval of many, but with the authenticity of who you truly are. So go forward, alone if you must, and discover the power within your own company. 10. Rejecting external expectations. How many times have you shaped yourself to meet what others expected? How many times have you held back on your dreams because someone said it wasn't the right time? Or worse, because you thought you wouldn't be accepted? Now, take a deep breath and listen closely. It's time to let all of that go. External expectations are like invisible chains. They hold you back, limit your choices, and silence your inner voice. And the cruelest part? They are never satisfied. There will always be someone expecting more from you, something different from you, something that has nothing to do with who you really are. Rejecting these expectations isn't easy, but it's liberating. It's understanding that you weren't made to fit into anyone else's mold. Your purpose doesn't lie in others, it lies within you. When you stop seeking external validation, you start valuing what truly matters, your own growth, your freedom to choose, and the meaning you give to your life. The validation you need isn't in applause, praise, or acceptance from others. It's in the feeling of being aligned with your values, your goals, and your heart. It's in the satisfaction of looking in the mirror and knowing you're living for yourself, not to meet someone else's expectations. Ask yourself, how many of my decisions have been made with others' expectations in mind rather than my own desires? How many times have I ignored my intuition to meet others' demands? The time to change is now. Break the chains. Let go of pressures that aren't yours. Start living in a way that makes sense to you. This doesn't mean being selfish. It means being authentic. It doesn't mean ignoring others. It means not depending on their approval to feel whole. Because in the end, your life is yours. Your choices are yours, and your destiny will be as great as your courage to reject external expectations and embrace who you truly are. Free yourself, trust yourself, and discover the power of living a life that only you can create. We've reached the end of this conversation, and if there's one thing I want you to take with you today, it's this. Your life is your greatest masterpiece. You don't need anyone's approval to be who you truly are, nor permission to chase your dreams. Everything you need is already inside you. Just believe, act, and keep going, even on the hardest days. The journey won't be easy, and it shouldn't be. After all, challenges are what shape who we become. But remember, with every step you take, with every small victory, you're building something bigger, something only you can create. Now it's over to you. I want to know which part of this message resonated with you the most. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your story might inspire someone else. If this video made sense to you, don't forget to leave a like. It helps a lot and shows we're on the right path. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time. That way, you won't miss any content that can make a difference in your life. Together, we can keep learning, growing, and moving toward our goals. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, your journey is unique and every step counts. See you in the next video. Until then.